Hey guys, okay, so I am here in the studio and I'm actually working on a really beautiful, tall red triptych with yellow leaves because guess what? We're getting ready to go into fall and I've already have fall fever. I'm just telling you, I'm so excited about fall. Anyway, I'm painting along in the studio and lo and behold, my granddaughter, Isla, FaceTimes me. And so I'm chit chatting away with her. Of course, she is only 20 months. So the chit chatting is really about me having a ton of fun. And I see Brindisi is on there, the mommy of, well, my daughter, of course, the mommy of the granddaughter, Isla. Anyway, I wanted to show Isla what it looked like, what I was doing in the studio, because they live far, far away in Texas. And so I flip the phone around and I'm painting, and Isla is in like like it's hypnotizing. It's such a trance. And Brindisi's like, oh, that's relaxing. So here I am. I'm going to flip you guys around and I'm going to show you what oh, there's Georgie. I just have to say hi, Georgie. He's totally hanging out. Okay, so this is what I'm working on. And what we're going to do is I am going to hypnotize you. So, in order for me to do this, you have to think very calm thoughts and you have to take deep breaths and you have to watch the brush as I hypnotize you with red. Is that not like so unbelievably soothing and calming? It totally is for me. I don't know if it is for you or not, but it's like, ah. I know I'm kind of goofing off with you a little bit, but there's a couple of lessons in this. But before I get into that, let me tell you a little bit about this paint. It's called Alizarin Crimson. And this particular paint is translucent. I believe that's the term, which means it's like window glass. You can see through it. So the paint, there are different types of paints. There's some that are opaque, and then this color is actually translucent. And you see how translucent it is because as I paint over it, you can still see what's going on underneath, which is this really rich, beautiful kind of orange color. And what I'm doing right now is I'm really intensifying all of the reds. So you can kind of see the edge there. Now, let me show you what the paint looks like in the tube, which is right here. And I hope I'm saying that name correctly. Alizarin Crimson. So, I really wish I could like play music for you while I do FaceTime, but I don't have that capability. If I was able to, I would probably play you one of two things. I would either play my bird music that I actually record myself. I have this amazing recording, 55 minutes from Giverny, and I like to believe that they are like the descendants of Monet's birds that he would paint with while in his own garden. So I love listening to that 55 minutes of bird music. Or I would totally play you guys singing bells or singing bowls. It's not singing bells, singing bowls. But the reality is, if my daughter were listening or watching this video still with Isla, it makes her sick. She can't listen to singing bells. So again, this is what the paint looks like, and this is just a combination of actually three things: my Japan dryer, which I need in this in order to get it to dry. It has a really beautiful amount of the alizarin crimson paint, and then it has my secret ingredient. Are you ready? It's Watco Danish oil. I know, it's like the secret ingredient is salt, but what I'm trying to do for this painting, and you can see where I've done one side of the tree. Well, I've done this side. It's like candy apple red. It's just really beautiful. And this has a little more flat, more rusty kind of feel versus that candy apple red. And this painting, once it dries, I'll actually put some gold foil leaves on it so that they, when it's at dusk or in the morning, when the light is just starting to come on to the painting, it will actually glow and the leaves will actually flitter. I know it sounds kind of hokey, but they really, really do. I'm just so amazed with the foil leaves, what it looks like. It really does make it, I'm like losing you guys where I'm pointing my camera. It really does make it look like the leaves are falling and moving in the breeze. So now the question is it really hypnotizing? Is it really relaxing? And it probably would be if I would stop talking. Oh my gosh, I can hear Georgie's over there snoring. He's so funny. Oh my gosh. See, it is relaxing to the point where Georgie has fallen asleep. So, you can see why I love hanging out in my studio and just slowly, steadily making progress, painting. Feels really good. All right. So now I'm kind of curious to know what kind of things do you do? Put it in the chat. What kind of things do you do to help you relax? Do you have your magic go-to like I do with my bird recordings that I make all over the world? Or do you like singing bowls? Anyway, I'm kind of curious to know what you do to relax. For me, I love to paint with alizarin crimson. Ah, yeah. It's so nice. All right. So I'm going to flip this around. Okay, Suzanne, yes, I totally agree. Suzanne, months and months ago, one time, was with me one time when I was actually foil leafing. Do you remember that, Suzanne? It's kind of funny how there are certain tasks that are repetitive in nature, but I don't know why. It's one thing. It's one thing to do it, but it's another thing to watch it. Really kind of interesting. Okay, and then I'm kind of interested to know, would anybody want my bird recording? I know it sounds kind of silly, but I love my birds. Oh yeah. Okay, Brenda C is absolutely correct. Definitely, Nora Jones and Enya are on that list as well. The fact is, I actually have a lot of things that I use to kind of hypnotize myself, to help kind of settle my nervous system down and relax. Painting is a really big part of that for me. And yes, Nora Jones, that's the whole joke is, when the kids were little and I was working in the garage at our house, our home, and I turned the whole big 3-car garage into my studio. I have a very accommodating husband. I would play the Nora Jones CD over and over and over again, or the Enya CD over and over and over again. I just keep hitting repeat over and over and over again. And my poor family, they can't listen to either of those now without probably going into a trance or into shock or something because I really overdid it. But there's something about repetition. I remember one time I was talking to a woman at the gallery in Santa Fe. This was years ago. And we were talking about this concept of repetition. And she confessed that her thing that she loved to do was chop firewood. I'm like, holy cow, that's intense. But it was this whole repetitiveness of and the physical activity. That's the other thing for me. It's like jogging. It's when you're pounding the pavement and you can feel your heart beating. It's that repetition, that those hypnotic things that actually really do calm our nervous system down and make us feel good. And I'm sure there's some sort of scientific research that proves all of that and talks about endorphins and hormones and all sorts of things. I don't really care about that stuff. I'm just grateful it works and that my body knows exactly what to do. Okay, so now I need more paint. And I don't know if I can actually do this one-handed, but I'm going to try. So, pop off this little cap. And here we go. You're going to love this. This is really hard one-handed. I think there should be a test, like a driver's test. Do you see that paint coming out? Whoa, that's really hard one-handed. Okay, and then I have to always put the cap back on. And here we go again. So now to make the mixture, I add my lovely juice. This is like, you know, when you have a recipe that's like really famous and nothing is measured. There we go. Okay. See how nice that is? Now I'm going to do an area that is a little bit less complicated and just watch you see how smooth. It's so pretty. I don't know why. I remember the first time I wore red lipstick, I was really embarrassed. Like, it really embarrassed me. But I just kept forcing myself to wear the red lipstick, and then lo and behold, I got used to me being in red lipstick, and then all of a sudden I was in love with it. But that was probably when I was 22. I don't wear red lipstick right now. I just do lip gloss, but man, what is it about red? Okay, I have toyed with you guys enough with nonsense, or hopefully not terribly nonsense. But I do think there is some lessons to be learned about this. I think it's important that we find those things that soothe our nervous system and that we just fall in love with. And I am in so much love with this red. So thank you, Alizarin Crimson, for being translucent or transparent. I don't remember what the word is. And for allowing me to be able to bring you guys into the studio. And I'm going to say goodbye. And thanks again for joining me. See you guys.